Megan's speaker view so they can see her pretty face. All right, well, hi everybody, and again, happy first day of fall. I keep saying that everywhere I go, but it makes me really happy. It's also, we're getting close to the final quarter of the year, and I love the final quarter. It's such a great time to sort of reassess where you're at and where you want to be, and it's, we put in the newsletter today that I heard once that fall is like the new year, and I've always hung on to that. It just feels sort of like a fresh start, so I hope you guys are feeling that too. We're so excited to have our friend Megan Bading on tonight. Monica and I met Megan at Summit in Nashville because we were all speakers, and we got to meet before the event and kind of go over where we would be speaking and how we'd enter and exit, and we were all nervous about that together, but I really loved Megan's energy. She has a quiet confidence about her, and I think that's really incredible because she is in the top of the company. She is a presidential rep. There are only 5 of them, I believe, and she's just incredible. So I'm really excited to hear from her. Megan, you're going to tell us a little bit about your story, right? And then some simple tips for building.
Yes. Yep.
Hey, so take it away. I'll let you have the floor.
All right. Well, thank you so much for asking me to join you. I love following Katie and Monica. It's so fun that I got to meet them. And so after Utah, I was following them, and I love to watch their stories, and just they're such awesome women. So I feel very honored that you guys asked me to come on tonight. And I am impressed that you got my name right. So my name is Megan Bading, and everyone says Megan Batting, especially in Zaya world, because that's how it's spelled. And so props to you that you got that right. So I have been a part of Zaya for about 20 months, so just a little over a year and a half. And prior to Zaya, I was in a direct sales company, a health and wellness company. And I also worked as a full-time marketing consultant from home out of a company out of Portland, Oregon. And so I would work from 8 to 5 basically, because it was a job where I had to be on the computer at all times available. So I couldn't work really my direct sales business until after work. And my husband also owns his own business. We have 4 children. We're busy just like a lot of you are as well. And I love the direct sales industry. I love the feeling of being able to have a side income and provide to my family in ways where I could see growth where I wasn't seeing that in my full-time job. And so what I would do is I'd work my full-time job, and I would get off work, and with this particular direct sales company, I was having to travel all over the state of Iowa into Nebraska. So I would leave, and I would sometimes not get home until midnight or 1 o'clock, because in this direct sales, you had to have an in-home type tasting setup. And I was starting to miss my kids' things, and it was just weighing on me so heavily. And I had built a team, and my income was about matching what I was making in my full-time job. But I was feeling so guilty all the time because I was missing so much. I was tired, but I was seeing the benefit of having a team in this residual income, and I didn't want to let it go. But it got to a point, and this was December of 2018, where my husband and I just sat down, and I said, I cannot do this anymore. I feel that I'm telling people and preaching time freedom, but I'm not feeling it. And it just didn't feel right to me anymore. And about at that exact moment is when Zaya kind of fell into my life. And I had told my husband for Christmas that year, I just wanted a pair of Lululemon leggings or Athleta. I did not care which one. I didn't like to spend the money on them because they're pricey. And so if it was going to be a gift, I was like, okay, that's what I want. I had a couple pairs, and I wanted another pair. And so he usually has my sister-in-law help him shop sometimes. And so he told her, these are the companies she wants a pair from, so you decide and buy her a pair of leggings. And my sister-in-law happened to be scrolling through Facebook and saw a post that a gal that now lives in Florida, that used to be from our hometown here in Carroll, Iowa, had posted about Zaya. So her curiosity was like, I'm going to order Megan these leggings instead of Lululemon or Athleta because I want to see what they're like more. She was kind of curious. So they wrapped them up and they kept them in the original packaging. And I remember opening it. I got a pair of light tights, I got a jacket, and a top that we no longer have, like a cap sleeve top. And I remember opening them and I was super mad because they were not my Athleta or Lululemon. And I was like, Zia, what is Zia? I didn't know how to say it. And my husband was like, well, this is a direct sales company that Mariah Backey is doing now. And Teresa, my sister-in-law, saw it and thought maybe you would like it. And right away, it was like a light bulb just like went on in my head. Because I was like, oh, really? I've never heard of it. So I opened up the packages and I loved the light and tights. I mean, as we all know, the light and tights seal the deal. And I immediately was like, these wash, these wear just like my Lulus and my Athleta that I had. And I was super intrigued. And so I told my sister-in-law, hey, you have a party, I'll order something from you. And then I'm going to have a party and you order from me. And so she decided to have a party. And I told her, I said, I'm going to do this. I was watching the party and all I could think the whole time was, I can totally do what that girl is doing. I would love to do what that girl is doing. And I could not stop watching the party. I would lay in bed at night just like thinking about it. And it just was like in my heart, in my gut. So I knew, I was like, I'm not even going to host this party. I'm just going all in as a rep. And so I told my sister-in-law, hey, I'm going to do this. So you better sign up with her because if you don't, I'm going to do it. So she signed up. I became a rep under my sister-in-law. And before I signed up for a rep, let me just back up one sec. I had reached out to the gal that was having the party, Mariah, and asked her, are you doing this all online? Is this? And so she said, yeah, I've built this entire business online. And so all of those things, I was like, okay, this is new. I love the product. I had 100% belief in the product right away. And I researched Erin Bradley. I just loved her story. And the fact that I could build this online and still do the things with my family that I needed to be present for. And so from the very beginning of my journey, I told myself I was going to work as hard as I could for 12 months and see where I was at after 12 months. I knew in my previous experience with my direct sales company, if you build a team and you create this community, that you can have this residual income, and it's real and it's there. And so from day one, I just told myself, I'm working as hard as I can. I'm going to book as many parties as I can. I'm going to reach out to as many people as I can. I'm going to share the opportunity for as many people that join my team as I can. And that's what I did. And I still do, 12 months have passed and I still do that same thing every day, or I try to do something with my business every single day. And I just stayed as consistent as I could with making sure that I was following the, reach outs, booking parties, and sharing that opportunity. And once we started to build a team, I always felt like in my past experience and even with like careers that I've had in general, that you can overcomplicate things and things can become messy. And so I kept telling myself that whatever I'm feeling and I felt in the beginning, that's what I want to make sure that we're carrying through this whole journey of our business. As we're adding teammates, as our team's growing, I don't want to change that. I want to keep it as simple as when I first started, because we didn't have all the answers. We didn't know. We just kind of jumped in and started booking parties and figured things out as we were going. So what we did is we developed this system, and I'm sure a lot of you have read the book Listen Sister. I don't know. I know Katie, you have, Monica, you have. And we literally, we treat that like our team Bible. Our whole team has been built on following 4 simple steps of building. And we truly, every single training we do, when we post on our team pages, when we talk about business building, anything always circles back around to the 4 simple steps of building. And what we do is what we call them, we say, and Listen Sister, they have a little bit different way of how they explain their 4 simple steps of building. But what we do is we keep it as simple as like when you first started. Think back to when you first started. And we reach out. We talk and we train on reaching out. And we talk about celebrating the no's so much. We will do things with our team where we will post, okay, I want to the first 5 people that get 10 no's today, I want you to post about the no you got, because we really want our team and our reps to understand that a no doesn't always mean no. A no is planting the seed, and you always want to make sure that you're planting seeds along the way, because those are all seeds that you get to follow back up with. And so we train so heavily on the reach outs, because I feel like when you start this business, that's a very difficult thing. Sometimes it's way out of your element. You're nervous. You don't feel confident, maybe because you don't have a lot of Zaya pieces yet, or you don't know how to work the business. And so if you get a couple of no's, sometimes that scares people into reaching out further. And so we really, really hover into the reaching out and celebrating the no's. The no's are going to bring you the yeses. Those are seeds that you're planting along the way. And those are all these people that you get to follow up with again. And so our first simple step is the reach outs. And then the second simple step is parties, booking. As we all know, our business grows from the party. You know, Amy Ward said, I think when I first started and I listened to a training of hers, and she said, if you don't feel momentum or you don't feel like things are happening, put a party on it. And so, and that is one thing when I first started that I really, really tried to do, is book my calendar as solid as I could from the beginning. And I just kept going and kept going. If there was a week I didn't have a party, I was doing something on my VIP page. I was upping my reach outs. I was upping my follow-ups. And so booking as many parties and keeping your calendars as full as you can. Third step being follow-up. And so we really, really talk about following up. And it's not just following up with customers or friends or family that have maybe said, yeah, maybe. It's people that have not responded. Maybe you've reached out to somebody and that person never responded. I just gave my team an example. So I have a high school friend. We weren't super, super close friends, but we were acquaintances in high school. And I saw her come up on Facebook, and I added her to my VIP page. I welcomed her, let her know what I had invited her and if she had any questions, and then asked if she'd be interested in hosting a party. And she didn't respond, like completely ghosted me, but I could see that she read it. And so, and this was in January of this year. So in March, I just decided to follow up with her again. She didn't respond to me. She didn't, she read it. She didn't say anything. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to reach out to her again. Reached out to her again about, that I've been doing this Zaya business, and just kind of explained a little bit of what I was doing. And if she would, I know that she would love the products. And still, she read it, didn't respond. She reached out to me in June. So this was January and March. She reached out to me in June, sent me a message and said, hey, Megan, my sister and my mom were just talking about how they wanted to order Zaya. And I said, oh, I have the perfect person. I'm ready to host that party. Do you have any dates available? She never even responded to me to either one of my messages. And I truly believe if I would not have followed up with her in March from my January message, I don't know that she would have thought of me as that Zaya person. I mean, maybe she would have, but maybe not. And so I do think the fortune is in the follow-up. There is so much benefit to following up with even those, because I truly believe that it's all about timing. And maybe when you've reached out to someone, you know how we read a message and you're like, oh, I need to get back to that, but you're busy doing something else. And then you completely forget to get back to a message. And that could be what happened, or maybe the timing just wasn't right. But 30 days, 60 days from when you originally reached out to somebody, the timing might be perfect, or it might be just that time in their life where this is exactly what they're looking for. So I always just really, really talk about with my team, like, don't ever give up on people, especially if there's people that are weighing heavily on your heart or in your gut that you want to bring into this community, or Zaya can benefit them mentally, physically, financially, whatever aspect of Zaya can help them. Don't ever give up on them. Keep following up with them. And just one more quick story. I don't know if a lot of you have heard of the company Advocare, which I'm sure it's been, people know that they kind of change things, and a lot of Advocare reps' financial situation was kind of ripped upon them. Well, I have a gal on my team that was one of the top leaders of Advocare, and she, after all of that happened, I thought to myself, our sons played basketball together, and I knew how involved they were with Advocare and what it had done for their lives. And I kept thinking, oh my gosh, I just want to share Zaya with her, because I know, not just for the sake of financially how it could help her, but I knew that it was so different than anything that she's ever done. And this community would give her so much joy and be so much more fun and different than what she was previously doing. And I was scared. I fully admit I was scared to reach out to her, because I knew there were probably hundreds of people that were trying to get her to join their team. And I finally reached out to her, and I just asked her if she's heard of Zaya. I wanted her to try the leggings, see if she would want to host a party. She responded super nice that she wasn't interested. I reached out to her and I don't mean this to sound stalkerish at all, but I knew in my heart that she would love Zaya. I reached out to her one time for 6 months, one time a month. I wasn't like every day or every week. It was just one time. And the last time I reached out to her, I told my husband, okay, this is it. This is the last time I'm going to reach out. And he goes, why do you keep, I said, I just feel like Zaya would just bring her so much joy, because I feel like she had gone through such, and I just felt like the community would be so good. And he's like, tell her what you just told me. Like, why are you not telling her that? Why do you keep asking her to host a party? And so I finally said, okay, I'm going to do it one more time. And I reached out to her and I said, I just can't stop thinking about you. Here's the real reason I keep asking you to host a party. I really want you to join my team. I know you'd be an amazing rep and you'd love this community. She responded, I'm totally interested. Can we talk tomorrow? I got on the phone with her and she said, out of all of the people that had reached out to her to join their teams, I was the only one that followed up with her to that. And then it showed her that I cared, that I really, wanted her to be part of it. And she loves it. She loves it. She's not completely diving in like head over heels, because she just doesn't have the time right now, but she loves it. She texts me all the time that she is so glad that she made this decision. And I feel like sometimes we get scared and we think that people are going to be annoyed, or they're going to think that we're bothering them, or they're going to, think that you can't follow up with somebody because they originally say no. But again, a no doesn't always mean no. And so we continuously share these stories with our team all the time. We're always talking about, here's this situation, or here's because it helps people to know that, okay, I got 5 no's. It's okay. I got 10 no's. That's okay. Like, those no's are not always going to be no's. And so third step being the follow-up. So first, the reach outs, parties, follow-up, and then fourth, share the opportunity with others to join your team. And so we really talk about going back. I know a big one for us was in the beginning, a lot of our team wasn't asking the hostess, do you want to be a rep or do you want to use your credits for a free product? So we train on that. It's really kind of, I feel like, our obligation to tell them what their free credit is for. It's either for, they can use it for the starter kit, or they can, get their free product. So we train on that heavily, about making sure that we're sharing the opportunity in different ways to do that. And so those 4 simple steps, and that is it. That is truly what we've built our business on. That is, and I feel like sometimes if you ask a lot of our reps, they'll be like, oh, the 4 simple steps, blah, 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 blah. We say it so much and we train on it so much that it's just kind of like, it's duplicated down throughout our business, because we try to keep it as simple as possible, and so that we're not overcomplicating what is already there, the system that's already there, and all the wonderful tools that we already have. And so that's kind of what we've done so far. And we always encourage our new reps and team to read the book. Listen, sister, if any of you have not read it, it's such a great, I'm sorry, I'm not reading the comments. I hope I'm not. It's such a great book to read, and especially for your business, it can help in so many different ways. So any questions? That's kind of my story. I don't know, Katie, if there's is that kind of what you were looking for?
Perfect. I really love, my favorite part was when you just talked about, if somebody's weighing on you and you just can't quit thinking about them, to not ignore that feeling. I think that's so smart. That's like an energy thing. And it's so wise of you to go back to that person, even though it feels uncomfortable, and just say, listen, I know this might feel annoying, but I just can't quit thinking about you.
Mm-hmm.
I've got
Yep.
one in my head right now I need to message.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. Yep. And we just another example too, just because it just happened with so Robin Eddy, she was a Devil's Eye exec on our team, and she spoke at Summit. If any of you got to watch her video, she's just a doll. She was in Hawaii. She was with 31 before she became a rep with Zaya. She started with Zaya, went to Hawaii, and there was a yoga instructor doing yoga, and she shared Zaya with this yoga instructor. And this was almost a year ago. And the yoga instructor said, yeah, at some point I might be interested. Robin continued to follow up with her at least once a month for the past 12 months. That yoga instructor just signed up on Robin's team.
Woohoo!
And she said the same thing to her. It was because you didn't give up on me. You kept following up with me. She's like, Robin, you're so sweet. You still, have reached out to me after all of this time. And so I think we just get nervous that people aren't going to feel that way, and that they're automatically, it
Yeah.
doesn't always, if they ignore you or they don't respond or they say no, it doesn't always mean, it's nothing personal about you. And it doesn't mean that it's always a no. I mean,
And
so many times
somehow,
I'm like,
how you just said that, like I just got it in a different way. Like that people feel special when you are still interested in them. And I don't know why we think they'll be annoyed with us. But
uh-huh.
I just got that somehow, Megan, when you said it. It's like I think if somebody kept coming back to me month after month, I would not be annoyed. At a certain point, maybe I would at first. But then at
Yeah.
a certain point I would be like, wow, they really like they care about me. I think that's a really important thing to remember.
Yeah, and we always say too, if you're getting a message from somebody and they said, "Hey, do you want to host a party, or do you want to become a rep, or what?" However they message you, and they never talk to you again, or they never say another word. To
Right.
me, that would feel like, okay, they just randomly went down with
Right.
20 people and messaged 20 people and never cared to even follow up.
Right. It's
But
a
I feel like
follow up.
if you follow up and you show them that you are really caring and that there's different reasons why you're reaching out to them, then I think that yeah, it's huge. That
Yeah.
it's really truly in the follow up of everything, not just customers, people in a party that may not have ordered anything. We've had reps that have said, "Oh, I reached out and they said they just absolutely couldn't afford anything, but they would love to host a party." And it's just that reach out to that person in that party. So it's even the people that aren't buying, or anywhere that those contacts can come at your fingertips is so important. So if you have a party and you've got all of those people in that party, those are all people that you can follow up with in the future, regardless if they're buying or not, because everybody's story and everybody's timing is different of reasons why maybe they're not buying, or
And the
um,
thing about follow-ups that I love is that follow-ups are so easy because you already know what you're going to say. It's not the first message. A follow-up is like coming back. It's like already written for you. You're just kind of repeating it, and maybe in a little different way. But follow-ups are the easiest, I think.
Yeah, yep, for sure. And I always tell all my team too, I think all of my reps, except my sister, because she kind of had to say yes right away, said no to me to begin with. Like the first time I asked them to be a rep, it wasn't like, yes, I will for sure.
No one.
A few of them, but a majority of my level 1 reps said no. They didn't say yes right away. And so I wouldn't have a team if I wouldn't have followed up with people. It's so key in this business, and the reach outs and the follow up is so key in building your business
Do you guys
and
have any
keeping it
questions?
simple.
Yes. Duplicatable. We want it to be duplicatable. Nobody wants to do this if it's not duplicatable. Nobody wants to do this if it's complicated.
Right, exactly. Yep.
People are busy.
Yep.
Anybody have any questions or anything you want to add, Monica?
I was just going to say, I also love the part when you were talking about your hostesses and how it's kind of like our obligation to let them know what they can use their rewards on. And I don't think I've ever put it like when I talk to them about the rewards, I don't think I've ever said, or just use this $150 towards your kid if you want to become a rep. Like, I think I talk about it in the party, but I don't think when the time comes to like close their party, I've ever like explained the rewards that way. So
Mhm.
I think that's a great way to kind of just throw it in there and not feel like,
Yeah, it doesn't feel salesy because
yeah,
it doesn't, you're just giving them the option. Like, hey, you can use your $150 for this starter kit. It comes with these 5 pieces. It comes with $200 gift cards now, or you can use that $150. And then they're kind of like, oh, well, that kind of makes more sense for me,
Yeah.
And so, yep. And when we've trained reps on this, we've had people that will come back to us the next day and text and call, and they'll say, oh my gosh, my hostess just signed up. I can't believe it. And it was just because they gave them the option of what, I mean, that's their decision, what they use their credits for. And if you don't present it to them, then they can't say yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think reach outs mean more when it's a voice memo or just a text or email?
I personally think the voice memo is huge. But I mean, just like right now, I'm like talking with my hands and I'm, excited, to be on this call. And if I was just typing, you guys wouldn't be able to tell my excitement or hear my excitement. There's something with voice messaging for sure. They'll hear your excitement. They'll hear your sincerity. And I prefer that over texting or email, or I even do that with my team. Like if I'm sharing stuff with my team, I usually am, if it's on a chat, I'm usually voice texting them, or unless it's something that I know they need to have in writing to see over again. But otherwise, I'm always using the voice messaging, whether it's to customers, follow-up, team.
Plus it's faster.
Yeah, it is. And now I do it to like my kids or my friend, like a friend that's not on my team. She's like, why are you voice texting me? I'm like, oh, I'm just used to doing this now. Yeah.
All right, anybody else? So helpful, Megan. I love the reminders to keep it simple. I think that's wonderful. There's no reason to complicate it. We were actually just talking about keeping things simple in the car just a few hours ago.
Yeah.
That's really key.
Yeah. And then one thing really quick to add before I forgot to add is with the 4 simple steps of building, we introduced a Dash to Director program where we build the 4 simple steps into that. So it's like the first step is reach out. So it kind of walks a new rep through all the steps of how to walk them to director, where we highlight senior rep, where once you're at that senior rep rank, how important that is and how you're halfway to your journey of director. And so, but the whole program is based around those 4 simple steps. So it's a video, it's, ways to help them reach out. And then it just those 4 simple steps and that's it. So it's not all of these other extras where they feel like there's so many different training and they don't know what to look for or watch. And that's been really, really helpful in building too.
I love that.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
I loved being here and seeing all of you beautiful.
I'll post the recording, you guys, tomorrow, and Megan, I'll send it to you too if you want to share it with your team.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.